First, we're bringing this golf club that's an absolute antique back on show today. So today's tip is if you struggle with hitting the ground before the golf ball and a lack of transfer of weight onto your left side, if you struggle with thins, catching the ground before the golf ball with your irons, the tendency is when we get to the top of the backswing, if you think of where your left shoulder sits, as we come back into impact, your left shoulder goes up too early, right shoulder goes down, head falls back. All my weight's on my right side, and as you can see from there, my right foot stays static on the ground. Pivots, it doesn't help me transfer my weight onto my left side. There's no momentum forward. My hips aren't going to open up, and my weight's going to primarily stay onto my back foot. So don't be this golfer when we get to the top of the backswing. Left shoulder rises too quickly, right foot stays on the ground. You may have too much body weight behind the golf ball, as you can see from there. The weight goes on the outstep on my right foot. The weight goes on the outstep on my right foot. My left shoulder rises too quickly. The more we move our weight behind the golf ball, the more work we're going to have to do on the way down. We see a lot of golfers who get further behind the golf ball, left shoulder rises too quickly, head falls back, release the club early. The handle gets higher at impact compared to what it was at address. But you want the handle to get lower when we come into impact. The grip end of the club at address compared to when it gets to impact always has to be slightly lower, so the grip's actually working lower to the ground. Any golfers who struggle with contact issues get the handle rising too quickly, right arm straight ins, we release the club early and the club hits the ground behind the golf ball, or we hit the ground like that. To combat that, what you need to do is get a little bit more weight moving into your left side. What you're going to do, place a club underneath your right heel. If you swing the club back and your right foot stays planted on the ground, what's going to happen is this club is going to stay underneath my right heel. The main objective here is we're trying to move our right knee closer to our left knee. You want to improve your iron shots, you need to get a little bit more pressure moving into your left side. So where the hands are at address compared to when they get into impact, the hands are always going to be slightly lower because the shaft's leaning forward. If you're somebody that struggles with contact issues, the club's going to stay underneath your right foot. The main objective here is as you work the club through, we want to drive our right knee close to our left knee, and then we're going to let the club drop after impact. As you can see from there, my weight's on my left side, my chest is starting to open up towards the target. Place the club underneath your right heel as we got the club back and as we got the club into impact. Try and get right knee close to the left knee, and that's going to help you transfer your weight onto your left side. It's going to allow me to keep my chest more down towards the ground, get the hand a little bit more ahead at impact. And as I come through impact, I'm just going to let the club drop after impact. That's a good indication that all my weight's into my left side. So place the club underneath your right heel, work the club back. As we come back into impact, the feeling is trying to get right shoulder, right hip and right knee past the golf ball. As you can see from there, right knee gets close to left knee, and then after impact I'm just going to let the club drop, and all I feel from there is all my weight is fixated onto my left side. All my body weight should feel underneath my left heel. Place the club underneath your right heel. If you fall back, the club's going to stay underneath your right foot for the duration of the strike. If you struggle with contact issues with your irons, the tendency is when you're getting to the top of the backswing, your weight's moving a little bit too far behind the golf ball. Then as we come back into impact, our right foot staying on the ground. Use this golf club as a reference point, my right foot's going to stay on the ground. Too much of a gap between your knees, your right knee's not moved close to your left knee, and the club's going to stay underneath your right foot. Get an impact position that will look like this. Where the grip end of the club goes back, we add lots of loft. Great feeling to eradicate those issues and woes. Get to the top of the backswing as you come back into impact. Try and get right knee, right hip and right shoulder past the golf ball. That's a good feeling that's going to allow this club to drop after impact, and it's going to allow me to transfer my weight onto my left side. It's going to enable us to make ball turf contact. As we let the club back, we feel like we load into our right heel, so the club stays underneath my right foot. As I come into impact, I want to let the club drop just straight after impact. That's going to enable me to get my weight onto my left foot. If you struggle with your backswing, here's a really good drill you can categorise and divide it into two segments. When you work the club back, you want to feel like you load all your weight into your right heel. The club should stay underneath your right heel, and as you come back down into impact, what's going to happen is there's going to be a transfer of weight into your left foot. So you're going to feel your right knee gets close to the left knee, and that's going to allow your chest to stay a little bit more down towards the ground. Oh, it should feel like it's into my left side at impact, and the grip end of the club is closer to my left hip than what it is to my right hip. If you struggle with contact issues, where we get an impact position where the grip goes back, a little loft at impact. Reverse that instead. Feel the pressure into your right heel, so you feel like your right hip's going back. I'm going to enable the pressure to go into your right heel, and then as we come back down into impact, I'm going to feel like the right knee gets closer to the left knee, and that's going to allow my weight to transfer into my left side. And I'm just going to let the club drop like that after impact. Two things: allow the pressure to move into your right heel, come back into impact, right knee moving close to left knee, and then that's going to allow the club to drop just after impact, because that's going to help your weight transfer into your left side. I'm just going to feel chest to target, weight transfer into my left side, and into the right heel, come back down at impact, let the club drop, right knee moving close to the left knee. I should feel like all the pressure's going into my left heel, and I'm just going to let this club drop after impact. Then I'm going to get my chest to face forward. That's going to enable me to rotate through impact and get this lean in the shaft forward that everyone wants to achieve. Almost like that.